The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host, who likes to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So we got a market just doing a little rock and roll. As do I have that up? No, I do not. Not exactly sure why that went away. I must have closed it. Down 14 points on the S&P cash. Down 93 on the Dow. Nasdaq's off 2. Volume, not all that much exciting today. We're doing about 6.7 billion shares. My belief is that we're winding up for Cisco, the networker, earnings after the bell on Wednesday night, and that will push us up to 3,000 on the S&P cash for Friday's expiration. Seeing a lot of shorting today. We might get just a little bit more volume than we have the last 4 days or so. Just a little over 10 billion shares on the consolidated tape from the CBOE. And it's I don't know. There's no Roman candles. There's no marching band. No pink elephant. Nothing out there that looks like a real sign. No unicorn. No float going down the highway from Animal House. Nothing that would be out of the usual. We had a huge move, and now it's time to kind of digest those. My guess is that everybody will short a little early. They will continue shorting all the way through Memorial Day. Probably at Memorial Day, we may have a significant pullback. Could it happen earlier? It could, but the signs are pretty good. The New York Stock Exchange, the only thing giving kind of a hint that there may be a slowdown in its move higher from the summation index. More of the short-term sector oscillators I use all kind of point to higher prices. But I wouldn't get too wrapped up in the lower volumes. It happens almost every time around this year. We started talking about it 2 weeks ago, that volume dries up. And it doesn't necessarily mean a giant signal for the market, other than the fact that a lot of people do sell in May and go away, and therefore there isn't a lot more volume. As I said before, my guess is that we probably get into the 3-day weekend, and at that point, maybe we'll see some kind of reason to pull back. Just too much cash flooding the markets right now from the government. My guess is, from looking at it, that cash can continue to slosh around almost to the end of the year. And I have a feeling that politicians on both sides of the aisle are more than happy with that condition. They'll worry about what happens after the election. And that makes me think that, we could go all the way through Christmas before we get anything that seems like a reaction to all the bad stuff that happened this year. A lot of what we have going on. Also, people think that because people are home, nothing's being made or shipped. But no real supply problems of any major consequence so far, and we'll see. Maybe all this will end up resulting in a few more jobs here in the United States, and everybody's got to be happy for that, right? Bueller. Anyway, not much happening today. My guess is that we have a little bit more consolidation to do tomorrow, and it's all leading up to what is probably going to be fairly good earnings from Cisco, as everybody went to the web and the internet to solve their staffing issues as people got sent home. My guess is, like the rest of the people in that sector, they did well. But just a guess. I don't know for sure, but it's hard to think that Amazon's web services did really well. Microsoft's did very well. Amazon's did very well. And somehow Cisco didn't get their beak wetted a little bit on that. Anyway, after the bell tomorrow night, we shall see. I don't think there's that much built into it, which is always something you have to worry about after everybody has shown boffo earnings in that kind of business, that a lot of times it's built in. I think a lot of people, a lot of skepticism that Cisco continued selling routers. And I think there's some other folks out in that sector that says that business was boffo. And maybe we'll look at that one today, because it was one I was looking at. I was hoping it didn't just take off and run away. But it did. So maybe we'll get to that. You can call me at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can put a message in the den. You come to us, I come to you. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. U.S. equity positions at multi-year low. Yeah, question. I don't know if this is a question, but it is interesting to see the non-participation rally thing in there, because you can look at how much money or how many shares are traded in the dark pools now. And it has been rather interesting to see just the very high level of that dark pool volume. Normally, for the last couple of years, it's averaged around 37%. We can go back to the 22nd, when the last time that the dark pool volume was below 43%. For those people that don't really spend a lot of time on dark pool numbers, I look at it, but it's only to see whether or not there is a lot of action from the retail traders or the street guys. The street guys tend to do a lot of their trading in the dark, smoke-filled, cigar-chomping rooms, and that data gets in there late in the day when it gets reported. But, of course, it is not reported instantaneously. When Buffett decided to sell all his airlines, that was all dark pool stuff. He didn't go across the New York Stock Exchange at all with his trades. They did eventually show up in the data, but that was after the deal was long, the dirty deal. I don't know if it was a dirty deal, but the deal was done. And that is it. So I continue to keep an eye on all of this, but I don't see anything that says it's time to pull the ripcord, that we're going ahead and lower. I suspect we're going to drive everyone batty all the way to Memorial Day. Man, that slid right off the tongue. I'm a poet, didn't know it. Be back in a minute.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today. TFNN is launching an open house for our Tiger's Den. For a limited time, you can get a 30-day free trial to the Tiger's Den. Just enter promo code OPEN at checkout and pay nothing for 30 days while you try out your Tiger's Den membership as part of our open house. With market volatility at an all-time high and people all over the world working from home if possible, TFNN is hosting an open house in our Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is an interactive chat room that runs all day where other tigers and tigresses discuss trading ideas with the hosts and members, along with charts and current market news, as well as live access to the charts the hosts use during their programs. Join us for the Tiger's Den Open House. Begin your Den membership today by just entering OPEN at checkout and pay nothing while you try things out for 30 days. For all the details and to start your Den membership today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the TFNN Tiger's Den Open House taking place now. Sign up today.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And we'll do a little history, and then we'll get right into some charts.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1941, German engineer Konrad Zuse unveils the Z3, now a generally recognized first functional programmable computer. Because Germany was fighting World War II, not much was known about the Z3 till after the war. He also made the first process computers. Those are ones that were hooked up to digital analog converters, which are now ubiquitous all over the world, and in everything you touch and do, if it has any kind of feedback. Of course, these were used, or the ones he made in the early 40s were used in the buzz bombs, the V2s, that kind of stuff. But mostly after the war, he talked about his Faustian deal, which is a deal with the devil, to work on the stuff that he wanted to work on, which was computers. And he said he either could do that or go to the Eastern Front, so he decided to work on computers. He ended up being, although a lot of people credit the folks at Bletchley Park, and especially the one they made the movie about, is inventing computers. He actually had the first kind of what you would call a prototype demonstration of technology. Again, it was too small to actually be used for anything, and but it did show that there was promise down that vine. 1948, he pretty much invented the first computer language. That was a higher language instead of actually programming in assembly code itself. Throughout pretty much until the early 70s, he continued to add a great deal to computerdom. And not much is ever said or known about him, mostly because while he was never a member of the Nazi Party, only about 24% of the people in Germany ever were. A lot of them just got kind of taken on for the ride. But he ended up, I think he died 1995, something like that. around then. But very revered in Germany. And of course, he had several different models of computers. Of course, the first one is the Z3. He also made a follow-up to it called the Z4. And if you know anything about BMW, there was a little head nod a few years after he died. They had a new car, didn't know what to call it. All the engineers got together and said, you know what? Z3 sounds like a good one. Little roadster. I think I bought one new in 2000. It was a neat little car, especially living down on the beach, to buzz around in. And, of course, they had a Z4 after that. So it continues on, checkered past, but generally one of the guys thought to have ushered in the computer generation. And mostly because no one would let anything go on with some Nazi's name tied to it. Didn't get a lot of the press. He did end up making a bunch of money from his patents, though. IBM paid a great deal, and I think his patents ran out in about 1965, but a lot of the early IBM patent computers actually used some of the patents that he came up with and filed, I think, around 1948 for all this stuff. No, he always stayed in. The question is, was he part of Operation Paperclip? And the answer is no. He got kind of stuck behind the opposite side of the Iron Curtain. Made it back over a couple years later, though. And I think he avoided both the U.S. and the Russians fairly succinctly. Never got all tied up in all that stuff, and just ended up going back to work, I think in 1946 or 47, back at the institute he was working at when all the stuff started in 1939. And I think he was there for forever until he died. But Conrad Zuse, you can look him up. A champion of computerdom. If you missed it yesterday, I was talking about bond data. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. That link that I have here, or that I will send you, has volume data finally for treasuries and bonds and that kind of stuff. We now have full reporting of it. One of the reasons I've stayed away from trading bonds is there isn't a great deal of data for them or transparency. There's at least weekly transparency now from FINRA, who is they're there to help you, supposedly. But a lot of people don't believe that. What else do we have going on? Let's go to some of the stuff that's actually moving today in the market. And, well, what was the big one out here? The winter chicken dinner's got to go to Grubhub, where these guys at least have started a rumor, if not some truth, about being bought out. And well, that's quite the candle there. Very tough to fight something like that, but one of the reasons why you don't want to be short in markets that are not trending your way fairly significantly with huge short interest. As I said, I'm wondering whether this was something that was real or Memorex, but he had 20%, 21% short in this yesterday. So if anybody stayed short this today, they certainly got creamed to the tune of 50% move on their short position. But you even back on the 20th of April, there was 28% short interest. This is like I said, one of these stocks that did extremely well from the shutdown. I think a lot of people were looking at these kind of coming back at you. This is the problem with having a lot of other people short along with you. And that is, once you build up a big position, it then means that you're kind of some low-hanging fruit out there for stock operators to put out press releases or phony news statements, real or imagined, fake news or not, you still get squeezed out. And, of course, we live in the land of Florida where fresh squeezed is something we generally like. But not something if you were on the opposite side of Grubhub. But one of the reasons why I'm kind of being very fearful. Generally, the news will go against you in the last couple of weeks of a move to the highs. This one blew through with volume today. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe I'm a little jaded, but it's there nonetheless. Datadog, this dog can hunt. And, of course, we've got another huge gap in the market here today. This thing hasn't been around that long. It is a fairly recent IPO. But huge volume, huge gap higher. I had it. We were buying it off the lows. I didn't hold it near long enough, apparently. Be back in a minute.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And I had a question come in via email about did he ever make anything that we'd actually know? And the answer is no. We're talking about Zeus. He ended up selling a bunch of his process control stuff to Siemens, and they ended up turning that into a massive business for controllers for industrial processes. They became absolutely huge. And you'll see their name literally plastered everywhere in Europe. Not so much over here in the United States, but in the rest of the world, they're fairly big on turning a blind eye and selling to anybody. Of course, they sold controllers to the Iranians, most notably, to make uranium for their bombs. Of course, the Israelis snuck in there and put a virus in it, and it ended up blowing up their centrifuges for years before they figured out what went on. But that's what people do. Okay, let's go back to the email, which I think I got more of coming in. Anyway, I talked about Datadog. Very interesting IPO. Everybody way too short, which is just about what's going on. Hurts. Man, does it hurt. It hurts. It hurts. They're talking about going bankrupt. Don't know if anything changes soon enough to change that. Ingersoll Rand, always making huge stuff. Why does this TT come up? Maybe I put the wrong symbol in. That was supposed to be Ingersoll Rand. Maybe not. Train Technologies. Did they change their name? Let's see. Maybe something I missed? Train Technologies? Let's find out about that. Statistics. Just a profile. Climate control solutions for business. That's the train I'm thinking of. Not exactly sure why IR. It must be some kind of data glitch today. IR. Ingersoll Rand. Okay, down 2%. Not exactly sure why the data would be wrong for that, but we shall see. Okay. 28% is correct. There may be some kind of split or something. Certainly looks like the data's messed up on Ingersoll Rand. We talked about this one maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and these are some of the ones that I think are going to go up to their highs and then pull back. Those are the ones that did well with the lockdown. As it goes away, probably not going to be able to support, or a lot of them, not going to be able to support what goes on. Logitech sold every webcam they had. They owned 80% of the webcam business. We're talking about additional webcams, one's for desktops and one for mobile units too, but a lot of laptops come with their own webcam now. But Logitech has about 80% of the webcam business that is not built into laptops. This thing just continued to go up and up and up as people kept on using Zoom and Skype and all the other stuff. You still can't find a webcam in any Best Buy or on Amazon. At least I looked on Sunday. Everybody's saying delivery time is still 2 to 4 weeks out. These, though, eventually everybody will have a webcam. They don't blow up and they don't really die that much. So my guess is eventually that market will be satiated. I like using that word, satiated, and it will probably come on back. This is, I think the big thing we need to know is the difference between what is sustainable and not sustainable for the stocks that really went much higher during this event. Our detour into financial dementia as we decided to burn the house down to save the cake. Is that I'll have to find a better analogy. Anyway, Logitech, L-O-G-I, of course, they make keyboards and other stuff. They make this fine, I'll do the model move here, fine trackball. I have problems with my hand that I injured racing, and it's one of the few things I can use that doesn't make it end up being a fist every day. But Logitech trackball. They make the webcams. So how many things do I have of theirs? I probably have 3 or 4 mice, keyboards, a couple of webcams. Got a lot of stuff of theirs. Generally, the stuff's pretty good, though, and it doesn't break. So it's not like they get a lot of repeat business after you buy what you want. I use the older version of their trackball just because it fits my hand better. But I do digress. Anyway, good business. Skyworks Solutions. This is going to tell us a little bit about what's going on in the Skyworks. Stanley Black & Decker, is down a little bit, not much going on. Tesla, of course, the fight between him and Comrade Newsom, of the governor of California, on whether or not they can just wave a wand and bankrupt you. Guess that's what the argument is coming down to. Tesla and Musk, he's saying I should be the first to go to jail. He's planted a flag. I wonder, Musk gets a lot of cover for trying to save the planet. And now it's tough for them to make a decision whether it's more important to him to build electric cars or to close down the economy and build none of the cars that are supposed to save the globe. So what are they supposed to do? I don't know, but I'm seeing little heads explode all over the far west coast. Up a little bit on lighter volume, other than the at least bringing up the issues with Constitution that Gavin Newsom has been more than willing to use as toilet paper. If you missed it, I have some particular people that have drawn my ire. One was that Newsom and the mayor of L.A. decided that it was just a suggestion that you had to be arraigned within 48 hours of being arrested. They said maybe it's a week, maybe it's 2 weeks. We'll give it what we want. Even the Supreme Court of California said that didn't pass the smell test. They've done other things as odorous as that, so they are not on my good list. They're on my brown list for constitutional violators. But you're back up in this huge down day in Tesla. 869.82 was the high that day, reversed. You're basically halfway back in there. Do I see any reason at all to short Tesla today? And the answer is, as always, you could get or make an argument that it's getting close. I don't think that there's a lot of reasons to be short a lot of things before Memorial Day weekend. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the Tax Opportunity Zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you would like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech. There's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Got a question about CyberArk with earnings tomorrow. It's back up to its gap down from the 24th of February. Volume's okay. It's not all that. You've got fairly decent overhead on the 12th of February too. It's about 5.6 million shares. So the problem I have on this one is you probably don't have, your upside's probably limited. If they have BAFO earnings, it's $130. My guess, though, is it's probably $5 up or down. The downside goes to about 108. So, you know what? You got a little bit of edge if just on the way stocks are earning or doing on earnings. $130. If you'd been along this for a while, it's like back to $75 on. What is that, April 3rd? I think you let it run and hope for 130 on the thing, maybe 132. That's where I would pull the plug on that. Okay, got a question about Tesla here. Tesla plant is very new. Watch on YouTube, you'll see many new employees. It has low production numbers, so it would be easy to open that plant. Lots of robots and space between workstations. The way I think $40 a share is too high. Okay, I'm thinking that Tesla does make it back down to $40 eventually. 4 to 5 and GM in the 20s. By the way, when I worked on EV at a major auto company, just a can of worms 20 years ago, and worms are still growing. Batteries, yes. Thank you, Richard. Okay, other things going on, UAL. Again, people have been asking me if I would buy any airlines, and the answer is it's just going to be very tough. Buffett sold them for a reason. That is, if they do have any earnings, that earnings is going to go back into paying these loans. So it's probably going to be dead for a while in the airline business. Going to be very tough to make any money. Any money they make goes back into repaying loans. And with the amount, it's hard to think that we go back to normal in the airline business in 2 months. And that's really what you need, maybe 3 months to make these things move. Too much volume for me. I'm not a big fan of it. Uber, of course, is supposed to be buying out Grubhub. It's up a little bit. Again, question of whether or not this is actually happening. Too many times I've seen these deals turn to dust. And there's let's say that there's a big hedge fund or a big vulture capitalist in involved in these companies, and maybe he's in both companies, right? And he wanders over and says, it'd be a kind of a good idea for you to buy Grubhub. Then he goes over to Grubhub and he goes, it'd be a good idea for you to be bought by Uber. And then maybe they have one conversation, doesn't go anywhere, and the article shows up in the news the next day. A well-placed inside source says Uber and Grubhub are talking. Well, the problem is that really good stories like this sound like they could be true, and you'd never really know whether they are or not. For Uber, it kind of makes a bit of sense. I don't know why they couldn't do just the same in-house and smoke Grubhub, but a lot of people are more willing to buy things than to build them themselves. But what can you say? Again, I'm not a big fan like Grubhub, not a big fan when a lot of stocks are having huge gaps higher to be out here catching flack. And I mean it in the sense of bombing over Germany in World War II. There is a lot of flack, and it's not friendly fire. I think they know exactly what they're doing as they move the market higher here. And, one of the best ways in the world to get rid of stock is to make a nice story and make a market that allow you to sell into it. Grubhub may be one of those that may be real. Maybe Memorex. We may never know. But my guess is probably there's a little whiff out there that maybe there's some bovine excrement somewhere near to this story. But again, you're not going to ever hear it from the Uber guys. You're never going to hear it from the Grubhub guys. And, of course, the guy that's in the venture capitalist part of the business, he's just going to be able to sell in with maybe shares that he's got of Grubhub. And those three guys, they're all happy. So just a thought. Doesn't always happen that way. We've got Space and Beyond, Virgin Galactic selling some shares in their space division. I guess it's a division or a separate company now. I think it's a whole separate company. Certainly down a little bit, not a lot of volume. And again, the question is, are you going to have a lot of people throwing wild cash trying to go into space now in the next couple of years? Problematic. And again, it looks like a couple of people may have a better view of galactic space travel for the uber rich going forward. But I don't know if there's a whole lot here to say in Virgin Galactic other than they are selling some of their shares. To Invex. Question coming through too. What do venture capitalists do? I got 2 minutes. Maybe we'll just do the rest of the show on this because it is a lot of people kind of breeze by what these guys do in bringing IPOs to market. If you know what a movie producer is, that is exactly what a venture capitalist is. He gets together people with cash. He gets together people that have a business of some kind, a plan at least. And he gets banks, and he gets people like Goldman Sachs on Wall Street. He is a producer, just like a movie producer. They have an idea. They'll always call it in Hollywood a vehicle, and that's generally some kind of script or idea. And the whole idea is he's shepherding all these different people, the banks, the investment banks, really, the Goldman Sachs who are going to bring this public. They, get the owners to get, or the idea guys to get the right kind of people in at the company that can handle the bookkeeping and all the other stuff so that they can try to grow their business and not be distracted by everything else. They also like having inside people at the company that can tell them what's going on. But a venture capitalist is the equivalent of a movie producer. His job is to get all the people with cash, money, access to taking a company public on Wall Street, and the PR firms, everything else, to make sure that he fattens it up like one big Christmas goose. Or is it a Thanksgiving goose and a Christmas ham? I can't ever remember those correctly. Anyway, it's all about doing that. We'll be back in a minute.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back. And what else do we have going on here? Oh, question about MGM. Hoping for 13. I don't know why they're hoping for 13 to buy it or short it. Like, probably not short it, right? Anyway, the low of the day out here, 14.12. Patiently waiting for Jim somewhat to crash. You see, going hoping for 13, but still strong for the company sector making no money. Yeah, because everybody knows in a year from now they'll be back to fleecing everybody. So, if it's 6 months or 9 months, I think these things probably do better than the airlines sooner, but you have to get on an airline to get there. I remember staying in MGM because I spent 8 to 10 weeks a year for 10 years for conventions, setting up, tearing down, so going to different conventions other than the ones we were showing at. I spent a lot of time there, and I always remember I had a good friend that would always make fun of me being stuck in the MGM because he'd say, "Where are you at?" "Red Sector, Eisenhower Wing, room 24,000/2-5. It's such a massive hotel. Of course, they own others out there. Not a big fan of getting into this. I would probably look at some of the others in this sector. Some that are more agile than some of the bigger guys out there, because they're going to have winners and losers out there. If your casino was a dog before, it's going to be dragged down by it. I don't know. I guess you could get into it. I just think that there are a lot better stocks out there to go long. And, of course, there are a lot of stocks out there to also go short. I don't see a big play in MGM one way or the other. As always, you can sell when you can, not when you have to. And then we'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.